Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. What was the best thing to happen in 1959? Hawaii became the 50th state of the USA. Wonderful, but no, Squale became a company. Squale was founded in 1959, and they are celebrating this 65th anniversary year, 1959 plus 65. Hopefully it's 2024, with the Squale Master Titanium 120 atmosphere water resistant watch, grade 5 titanium. Pretty impressive. So 1200 meter water resistant watch, automatic, all the good Squale stuff. We're going to check it out. Stick around if you want, because I know people want to see the watch. So we're going to go over the watch. After that, you're going to come back here with me, and we'll talk about grade 5 titanium really quick. Maybe not that quick, and what makes it so special. On my own wrist today, I am wearing my Spinnaker 50 Phantoms Blue. Came in last week. Oh my goodness, I simply love it. Hard to tell the time. Absolutely. Do I love it? Absolutely. On my other wrist, Islander, I'm still sporting the green port with that cool vertical date feature. Let's see the Squale. So let us get on with it. Of course, a nice box, fold it back. Oops, hello. It is a nice dry box, got the Squale logo on it. You're gonna open it up, and you're gonna be greeted with some paperwork, and here's the watch. It also will come with let's just kind of show it here. It's a Tropic rubber strap. It's a Squale branded Tropic rubber strap, which is kind of an oxymoron actually. But let's get on with the show. So this is Squale's first foray into a grade 5 titanium watch. The price of the watch, I'm just gonna go over it now, is $2,350 US, which is why, if you don't mind, I'm going to keep the plastic on for this video. But if you stick around for the end, we'll learn about how scratch resistant grade 5 titanium is and what makes it so special. So this is the Master Titanium 120 atmosphere 65th anniversary watch, complete on the titanium bracelet. Okay. So let's just go over the specs. It's 41.6 millimeters in diameter, so that's like the master case. It's a case that's been around for a while, but this is the first time they're doing it in titanium, in a grade 5 titanium at that. It is 16.1 to a domed sapphire crystal, so it is decently thick. The crystal itself is 4 millimeters thick, so those of you like me, here in the US, that is what, about 3/16 of an inch thick of sapphire. So it's a really, really thick crystal. Well, you gotta be, right, for 120 atmospheres is 1,200 meters. And because you go in that low down, of course, you do get a helium escape valve. Really quick, what is a helium escape valve? It's a valve that opens out and not in. So if you were to be in a saturation diving environment and the case, inside the case, all the little helium, I think, it gets in, it can go in between the seals because it's small, really, really small atoms. When you come up and you have to outgas, instead of it popping the crystal out, it just comes out the helium escape valve. Oh yeah, it is helium because it's called a helium escape valve. Duh. 48.9 millimeters on that lug tip to lug tip. Is a solid titanium screw down case back. You can see it there. A little bit of the etching of the Squale wave, Squale wave, and you also see the Squale shark, serial numbers and stuff. This is not a limited run. While I do have a limited quantity now, they do plan to keep it around for a while and reproduce them. There is inner AR on the sapphire. It is a 20 millimeter lug. Comes with that bonus strap. It is 131 grams on the bracelet. That is the beauty of titanium. It is super lightweight, as we will learn at the end if you stick around. It is sized with pins. I believe it's pins and collars. I did not size one, but judging from what I can see, I do believe it's pins and collars. And then here's the one weakness. If price isn't the weakness, This is the weakness. It's a diving watch, and it's a double push button butterfly. This really should have been something with a toolless micro, or just micro in general. But I guess if it was just micro, not toolless, people would complain it's not toolless. But really, a butterfly on a diver's watch, I don't know, doesn't fly with me, LOL. Otherwise, though, the watch is beautiful. So it is a pure black dial, and it is a sandwich dial, which means if you look at the, wait, did I say what the movement is? It's an SW200, so a Salida 200, SW200-1 Elaboré grade. Elaboré means it is regulated, adjusted in a couple of different positions. Okay. Black dial sandwich. So if you look at the markers, you'll see that the dial is actually cut away. And underneath the dial, it's three layers. The bottom layer is just solid superluminova, what they call old radium lume. It's got that real vintage warm feel to it. Then you have the black dial with the holes cut in it, and then above that, look at the frame around the indices, it's actually raised. So it's like a third layer to give it even more depth. Really, really nice looking. Beautiful hand, echoing that same old radium lume. 120 Atmos, Squale, and the classic master branding on the case. Swiss made, of course, Squale name, a Bomber family crest at the top. Bezel, 120 click, unidirectional, ratcheting bezel, bezel insert. Brushed ceramic with old radium lume as well. Thank goodness it went with a ceramic bezel. Screw down crown tucked away neatly at the fore. Pull it, unscrew it. You can wind that Salida. You can change the date, and you can change the time. I do like the date. Okay, I've becoming more and more of a fan of date at 6. Sorry, with gloves, not easy. But the date at 3 looks good. I do really like that they did it negative. So it kind of blends in with the dial. You get a little bit of a square element to it, echoing the one on the 9 o'clock side. It does not look bad. I think actually it looks really, really good. I think that's kind of everything about the watch. This is Squale's first grade 5 type. So much for keeping the stickers on. This is Squale's first grade 5 titanium watch. I think I covered everything about it. Let's try it on. So here it is on my 6.5, 6 3/4 inch wrist. 41.6 diameter is fine. The lug to lug of just shy of 49, also fine. The thickness, the thickness is not that bad, 16.1. The case is tapered nicely. So it's not horrendous. It's not obnoxiously tall, but hey, let's face it. It's 1,200 meter water-resistant dive watch. Will people wear this, for that kind of environment? Probably not. It is pretty darn good-looking, and it really doesn't give off the vibe of titanium too much. Titanium, generally, people consider to be that lusterless gray. But this is grade 5, so it's got some alloying elements in it. But still, it's finished really nice. Look at the beautiful, man. Look at the polishing on the side of the case. Look at the integration of the bracelet. It looks great. It looks great. There's that old radium lume. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Sandwich dial construction. You can really maximize your lume dollar. So no complaints here on that department. And I think that's going to wrap it up as far as the watch is concerned. Let's learn some more about titanium. Take it away, Mark. Okay, so now that we went over the watch, everyone that's not interested in the science stuff, you can leave. The true nerds will now hang out and discuss some material science. So put that down. Wristwatches generally are made out of 316L stainless steel. You hear me say it all the time. The 2 watches I'm wearing today are all made out of 316L stainless steel. 316L is pretty much the most stainless of the 300 series stainless steels. It's easy to machine, so it's fairly economical, but it's got a high chromium and nickel content, I believe, which makes it fairly non-corrosive. Why titanium? Well, It's not for any of the strength properties or any of that stuff. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say for a watch company, it's all about the weight and how it feels on your wrist. If you are not a fan of a big, heavy titanium steel watch on your wrist, maybe titanium is the thing for you. It is fairly light. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about weight. So we're going to talk in terms of density. So it doesn't really matter on the watch. 316L stainless steel is roughly 0.3 pounds per cubic inch. We're going to keep this in American units. I apologize, but that's where I am. 0.3 pounds per cubic inch. Titanium is a little more than half, roughly 0.16 pounds per cubic inch. So just about half is heavy, but it's got great properties. But there is a material that we're all very familiar with, which is even lighter. Aluminum. We used aluminum like crazy. 5052 and 6061 aluminums is what we use in aerospace for the most part. And they are aluminum is 0.098, or we usually just say 0.1 pounds per cubic inch. Aluminum is a third of the weight of steel, and it is about 2/3 the weight of titanium. But the mechanical properties of aluminum generally, they're not that great. It's got a lot of issues with just corrosion, heat resistance, fatigue's a big one. Stress cycle curves, horrendous. But we're talking about titanium. So titanium for wristwatches, we usually will see it in two grades, grade 2 and grade 5. Grade 2 is far less costly. Islander makes a grade 2 titanium watch, the Sands Point. It's more of a commercially pure titanium. There's not much, if any, alloying elements in it. But it's lightweight, but it doesn't have the best properties. Grade 5, 4AL 6V is the alloying elements. It is more expensive because it's alloyed, but these alloying elements give it superior mechanical properties. Does it matter for a watch? Not really. There's one particular property actually that is interesting, but as far as your strength and everything else, probably not that important. You don't go generally hanging, million-pound weights off of your wristwatch. But let's just discuss some of these properties anyway, because we're engineers and we like to do this stuff. Young's modulus. So this is stress over strain for 316L stainless steel, 28,000 KSI. So basically, there's a fracture curve, and what we're saying is that as you pull on steel, it will deflect a certain amount. That is the stress over strain. Strain is just a unitless extension, let's call it that. Grade 2 titanium, so this is more your pure, is roughly half, okay? About 15,000 KSI on the Young's modulus. And grade 5, just a little bit more. So steel still has a higher modulus no matter what. So steel will not deflect as much. But let's talk about ultimate strength. This is where you will rupture after you pull it, as you're pulling it, excuse me. 316 comes in many different hardnesses, but I just picked a random one. 30,000 pounds per square inch is what it will withstand before the ultimate snapping. Grade 2 titanium is a little bit higher at 40 KSI. Grade 5 titanium, 128,000 pounds per inch inch is what it can take. So over 4 times as strong in the ultimate strength category. Again, probably doesn't matter much for a watch, but still really cool to know that it can support that. Probably the most important property for a watch besides the weight would be its hardness. I'm going to talk about Vickers. If you guys are into knives or stuff, you probably know your Rockwells, your Vickers, your Brunel. More or less you take a bowl or a point something and they push it into the surface of the material and they measure how far it goes in. So this is going to come into like your scratch resistance and stuff like that. 316L steel, is 155. This is, I'm using the Vickers scale, 155 Vickers. Grade 2 titanium is actually a little bit less, 145 Vickers. If you have a Sands Point, you know that after handling it for a couple of weeks or so, it definitely picks up some scratches on the buckle and on the case if you knock it around. But grade 5 titanium, this is awesome. 349 Vickers. So it is over twice as hard as 316 steel and 316L steel. And that is probably, next to weight, the most desirable property that it offers. And that's about it. It's Hazard Mark from LongOutWatch.com talking about the Squale Master Titanium 65th Anniversary 120 ATM watch. It's a mouthful. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Comments, questions, anything else, put it down below. Hope I didn't mess up on the material science stuff. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.